Hello, I'm Christopher Hine, and today we're going to be talking about the ice pick grip. And what the ice pick grip is, I call it a reverse grip usually. So when you have a knife in your hand, either it sticks out the foreside, the front side, or the back side, the reverse side. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the knife disarms I use for reverse grip, which are basically essentially the same as the other ones, but I'll kind of give you some detail on them. We'll talk a little bit about them. So I'm going to get Josh over here. We're going to go to work. Josh? All right, so let's talk about the reverse grip. So understand reverse grip and foregrip are roughly the same when it comes to doing disarms with them. One important thing to understand is a reverse grip seriously limits your striking range. So if I was here with Josh and I'm just barely in striking range here, right? So if I moved, I'd cut him. Now I'm not going to change anything but the grip. Okay, so I just changed the grip and now I'm about 6 inches from Josh's neck. So he is way further away from me than he was before, okay, because of the position of the knife. That's it. So when maximum distance is important to me, I want to be in a foregrip and not in a reverse grip. Most Aikido schools use the foregrip and don't use the reverse grip, probably for this very reason, because making distance is essentially what we want to do, whether we're offensive or defensive with the knife. Now, when I am coming overhead strikes, this is much more comfortable than this. So because we have yokomen and shomens, putting it in the reverse grip is going to make more sense for a lot of people, and especially when you start moving into free practice, you're going to see this happening a lot. Although a lot of people get in this position just because they think it's cool, right? It's a cool position. Generally, it's not great unless you're up close or coming down directly with these attacks we use in Aikido. All right, so as Josh comes down, I'm going to use the same basic thing before. So he used a yokomen. Here's my ude sankaku. There's the knife, and I'm readily available to get to it. Okay, now, if I were to drive him down like this, okay, as I drive it down, we get kotegaishi here exactly the same as we would get it in the foregrip, right? So it's different in like in his hand, like the way he's holding it, but for me, it's exactly the same strip, no different, right? Now, I might have to use the flat of the blade more or use the back side of the blade more because I don't have a handle here as nicely to slide up. Kind of depends. These are short-handled knives, so these are actually pretty challenging for this, but a longer-handled knife, it's going to give me a little more control over that, but that's exactly the same. Let's say it came gyaku yokomen, like this, okay? Nikyo is also right there exactly the same, so here it is, boom, there's Nikyo, strips out in my hand, exactly the same. So that's really not any different, comes out quickly. There are some other little cool things, so there's some stuff from an Italian fencing manual that I stole that I think is really cool. So if Josh comes in, I go like this. Now if I keep it against the flat of my forearm, I'm going to get a kotegaishi here, right? So I come over, boom, and it pops out kotegaishi right into my hand, and then I can use that same attack on him, and then he gets the flat of the blade, boom, turns it over, and we can do progressions with this, right? So like say he pulls that away, so I miss it there, okay? I come up here and I get it on this side, and there's our kotegaishi, right? Or if I do that and he turns his hand the opposite way, right, like this, then I get the nikyo. So the same kinds of drills we had for the foregrip we can do in the reverse grip. So there's lots of cool, fun stuff. The more you work with the reverse grip, the more it will be comfortable to you. But understand that its usefulness is kind of limited, although it seems awesome. Think about, you know, you hammer with a hammer in the foregrip, you don't hammer with a hammer in the reverse grip because you're more powerful and more confident with it in a foregrip than a reverse grip. So in martial arts, people think it's neat that, you know, like ninjas hold things in reverse grips and they're really cool, and, you know, you can do this kind of sneaky thing, right? So like, oh, I have a knife and he would never know, and then, oh, I would do a thing, you know? So it seems like cool, sweet martial arts stuff, but it's not actually all that amazing. One of the other things that you should understand whenever you're disarming, whether it's in the foregrip or the reverse grip. Cut. Okay, so one thing to understand when you're doing this is that the knife's going to come out in the same way you take it out, right? That sounds silly, but meaning if Josh is in a reverse grip, which he is right now, and I take it out with Sankyo right now, if I come in and my hand matches Josh's, then it will come out in a reverse grip for me, right? So look, now I have reverse grip for Josh. If I do opposite, so this is the same, if I do opposite, so now my hand's opposite Josh, when I strip that knife, the knife will come out in the foregrip for me, right? So however the hands are put, if I put my hand matching his hand, it will be in the same grip for me as it was for him. If I go opposite, then it will be opposite grip than it was for him, right? Which seems kind of like a no-brainer, but it was a while of doing this before I realized, like, oh yeah, if I want the knife in my hand in a foregrip, I've got to do whatever is reciprocal for how he's doing it. So that's it. Ice pick grip or reverse grip's not a big difference. The more you practice it, the more you get good at it. I'm Christopher Ryan. This is Joshua Teehee. My Salon and McDaniel's behind that handheld camera right now. So if it's mega shaky, then it's because she's handheld and she's practicing her human tripod powers. But we'll see you guys in the next video.